Hello, I'm Grimgrindle, and welcome to SciFi MineCart. The sci-fi series we're going to have a look at today brings us a future in which space consists of 8 hexagons, each of which contain various levels of deadly action. Cue title card.
The point of SciFi MineCart has never been to look at the latest Hollywood blockbusters, but instead, as stated in the introduction to the earlier episodes, to have a look at sci-fi that no longer gets, or has never gotten the attention they deserve in an attempt to bring, if only a few more people, to enjoy and appreciate them. And more often than not, these films, and it has been predominantly films so far, has qualified for this status by falling into one or more of 3 categories. They are sometimes older films that are no longer in the public eye, some of them as recent as the early 2000s, or others as old as the 1920s. Some of them are ignored, disregarded, or disparaged because of a critical consensus that I don't feel to be entirely fair, while others are indie projects which, due to their independent nature, never really reach the audiences that the passion of their creators really deserved. And the sci-fi that we're having a look at in today's episode, Deadly Space Action, is without a doubt the most independent piece of science fiction that we've looked at in this series to date. And so, Deadly Space Action. It's one of several cartoon series put out by the YouTube channel cartoon Drive-Thru, which are all of them in a truly staggering and inspirational display of productivity and creativity, written, voice-acted, animated, and scored by the one guy. As well as the channel's 2 main series, Deadly Space Action and Puzzle Hunters, Cartoon Drive-Thru also does a diverse range of other entertainment, such as animated E3 coverage, which is arguably the only E3 coverage worth watching, and constant experimentation with new series and one-off shorts. But while I cannot recommend Puzzle Hunters enough, this is, after all, a sci-fi review show, and so in this video, we're going to be limiting our scope to looking at Deadly Space Action, or more accurately, at looking at Deadly Space Action Season 1. Running roughly between late 2010 and early 2012, Deadly Space Action is a sci-fi action comedy following some of the most incompetent villains to ever take to the stars. It follows for the most part a ragtag crew of 4 characters consisting of Lemurion, who is essentially a villainous and somehow far more incompetent Zapp Brannigan-style character, Orton, who is just supposed to be there for web design but gets roped into doing a lot of mechanical work and other general underling-style jobs, Orton's wife Sage, who, among many other hobbies, is a weapons expert, and Bestest Crashboom, who, aside from having one of the bestest names in all science fiction, doesn't really do a great deal of much. This mismatched crew of misfits travel around in a rattlesnake-shaped ship known, as you might well expect, as the Rattlesnake. The first season is made up of 11 episodes, which, as far as I count, contains 3 main story arcs, the first of which actually putting the crew together, and the second and third I won't go into due to spoilers. The series pays some absolutely wonderful homage to old-school sci-fi, all the way from the overconfident captain with more qualified alien sidekick to the musical cues, which are wonderfully 1950s sci-fi in nature. However, despite the science fiction setting, the highlight throughout the entire series is, without question, the humour. The pop culture humour is sometimes a little bit hit and miss, probably because some of the pop culture references have faded pretty far from relevancy, while others, for instance when Orton's trying to set up the defense system while under fire, and is running into issues with DirectX, is among my favourite jokes throughout the series, and is probably because, let's be honest, installation processes haven't gotten any simpler. However, the true gem of the series' comedy is the character humour brought out through their banter with each other and their interactions with certain situations. From Lemerion's unbridled incompetence, for instance in this scene where they're getting dropped out of the bottom of the ship to their death and Lemurion mistakes the city below as being a miniature, to Orton's complete indifference to all danger, and Sage's bizarre, wonderful one-liners, Deadly Space Action is made up of a cast of characters you can't help but love. And so Deadly Space Action. It's funny, it's fun, it never tries to take itself too seriously, and Lemerion's consistently haphazard approach to conquest is a sight to behold.
Now, admittedly, my decision to talk about Cartoon Drive-Thru's Deadly Space Action at this moment was not entirely arbitrary. You see, there's a very good reason I'm trying to bring attention to the series.
You see, after 6 years, due to increased expenses, Cartoon Drive-Thru is doing a do-or-die push for funds. And as of making this video, its Patreon is only about halfway to the point where it needs to be. Now, I'm not here to tell anyone how to spend their money, but I will say that the cartoons are, of course, for free and currently available on YouTube. And so I implore you, if you've seen anything that interests you here today, then check out the Puzzle Hunters and check out Deadly Space Action. If you find yourself enjoying it, then make sure you've got ad block turned off and watch a couple more episodes. Heck, Watch every single one on the channel, tell your like-minded friends about it, like every single video that you enjoy, and leave a comment letting him know that you appreciate his content.
And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, I have been and still am Grim Grindle. To check out Deadly Space Action or the Puzzle Hunters, the links to the playlist are on the screen right now.